Okay, here goes nothing. Before I get into this packet, I need to discuss absolute value. Just reminder what it means. It means how far that number is from zero. It's distance. That's why it's called D, distance to zero. So 1, 2, 3. That's your answer. Distance of negative 4 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter what direction you're going, it's positive. Negative 6 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 to 0, 1, 2. Negative 5 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 6 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 to 0 is 6 as well. Now you're going to see graphs you haven't seen before. To ignore all that garbage. Okay. Okay, we're going to graph a new type of function. So far all we've really graphed is lines. Okay. Now this is going to be different. That changes today. Now these two are the same problem. I'm going to teach you the table, but then there's a much shorter way to do this. That's what we want. Y equals absolute value x. I want you to make a table and just put in values 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2. Now, copy down absolute value of x. Now just put a 2 in for the x. Just put it over the top. How far is it from, what's the absolute value at 2? 1, 2. It's equal to 2. Now I want you to graph those points, 2, 2. So go forward 2, up 2. Okay, there's your first point. Now put 1 in. The absolute value of 1 is 1. So go forward 1, up 1. Substitute 0. Absolute 0, you're already at 0, so that is 0. 0, 0 is in the middle. Okay, now negative 1 for x. What's the absolute value of negative 1? How far is it from negative 1 to 0? 1. So I go backwards 1, but I go up 1 again. Backwards 1, up 1. And now I put negative 2 in for x, but that's in an absolute value, so the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. So I go backwards 2, up 2. And it's a V shape, okay? Because you can put that in forever. I mean, if you go 3, you're going to be at 3. Negative 3 would give you an absolute value of 3. You put in 4, you're going to be 4. Negative 4, you're back up to 4. So it's a V shape. Points go on forever. Now there's a much quicker way to do this. It's known as the Vertex Rule. This right there is your vertex, okay? The vertex is always starts at 0, 0. Just write vertex, vtex, vertex, something. And then x, y, okay? So as you can see, 0, 0, because that's the middle, that's the vertex, that's that way. So I want you to just graph that point. Now, here's how an absolute value behaves. From that point, go forward 1, up 1. Now go back to the vertex and go backward 1, up 1. Now do forward 1, up 1, backward 1, up 1, forward 1, up 1, backward 1, up 1. I want 7 points on these graphs, okay? As you can see, it did not take very long to get my 7 points. So that's the same as that. We're doing it this way because it saves a lot of time, okay? But unfortunately, some of the equations have numbers added or subtracted with them. So what that does is it moves the V around in the graph. Here's what you want to write, starting on this problem. These are what the problems are you're going to face in this packet, okay? You put vertex start with an XY coordinate And that's always going to be 0, 0 with these absolute value functions. And then vertex, finish, start and finish. Now, here's let's talk about the X on the vertex finish. Box that up. Don't put D above it. Is there anything in that box with X? No, there's not. Okay? So then the X finish stays at 0. There's nothing in there with the X. Now, is there anything outside now let's talk about the Y. Is there anything outside of the box? There is. There's a +3. So we need to +3 to the Y. Okay? So 0 plus 3 is 3. Now, you don't graph the vertex start. Okay? You graph the vertex finish point, 0, 3. So you don't go forward or backwards. You go up 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then, there's your middle. You go forward 1, up 1, backward 1, up 1, forward 1, up 1, backward 1, up 1. So all it did was it shifted the V up 3 units, which just means +3. Okay, there you have it. Okay, next one. If I see that absolute value and I have to graph an absolute value function, we're going to go vertex start. And that X, Y, that's always 0, 0. And then vertex finish. We graph the finish, we don't graph the start. Okay, now let's talk about the X on the finish. I would like you to put a box around that. Is there anything in that box? Nope, so it will stay at 0. Outside the box, we have a -3. If you want to put plus -3, that's fine, but I'm going to -3 from the Y. Okay, if it's outside, it goes to the Y. Okay, so 0, -3, so I don't, X 0, you don't go forward or backwards, you just go down 3. Because that's your vertex point. You don't have to label it, I don't really care, but from there, that's where you spring out. Forward 1, up 1, backward 1, up 1, forward up, backward up. Okay, I want 7 points, it doesn't take long to do. Okay. So now that was a +3, so it went up 3. That's a -3, so it just shifted it down 3. Okay, get rid of this 0.5 crap. Just put -2. Vertex start, which is always 0, 0. No exception to the rule. Vertex finish. Okay, now let's get what the X is. Well, it's not hard. Since there's nothing inside the box with the X will remain at 0. Now, outside the box, outside the absolute value function, you have a -2, so that goes to the Y. Okay? 0 minus 2 is -2. If you want to make it plus -2, that's fine, but it's still -2. Okay, so 0, -2. I don't go forward or backwards, I just go down 2. Then spring up. That's 0. I don't care if you label the vertex, but I'm going to in the video. It's not that hard once you get the hang of it. Okay. Why does it make a V? Well, we went over that on the very first problem. Okay. Vertex starts always 0, 0. Okay. No, don't graph that. God! Don't graph that. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the X. Is there anything inside the absolute value function? There isn't, so the X remains at 0. Outside, you got a +5, so +5. So, don't go forward or backwards, go up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward 1, up 1, backward 1, up 1. It's like you have a function, you're just adding 5, so everything goes up 5. Okay. Next one, Vertex Start. Because if it's got that absolute value, it's going to be a V shape. Starts at 0, 0. Do not graph that because you're graphing the finished product. Okay, anything inside the absolute value? No, so your X will stay at 0. Outside, you got a +2. The outsides go to the Y. Okay, so +2 to the Y. So 0, 2. Don't go forward or backwards, just up to 2. Forward, backwards. There you go. Okay. Vertex Start. Vertex Finish. Okay, there's nothing inside the absolute value, so the X stays at 0 as it has in all the rest of the problems. That's going to change in the next video. But okay, outside you have an operation of -7. That is to the Y. Okay, so -7. So I don't go forward or backwards. I just go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it just takes the entire function, moves it down 7. Okay, that's it. You got 4 problems and then go to the next video.